Caution, I'm a hack. I learned everything I know from a guy leaned against a shade tree, having a drink and smoking a cigarette. Hey, welcome back. Back on the iRock today. We're going to put it back together. I need to hear this car run again. So the plan is to put the wiring harness back in it. Let me catch you up. If you're new around here, I'm running a FiTech fuel injection system. Went in just fine. We got it to start, no problems. Shift out of first into second. Won't go past that. Doesn't know what shift, like it doesn't know what gear it's in. So I've been on the phone with FiTech many times at this point. We upgraded the software in it, blah blah blah, didn't help. They've had me change all sorts of different things, parameters in the system, didn't help. I pulled out the harness thinking harness might be pinched where I'd put it together. No dice, it's definitely not pinched. I opened the harness up where it goes into the ECU. I don't know what that connector's called, but I opened it up and the wires that were called to go in whatever order, the colors were all wrong, like way wrong. So I called FiTech up and they sent me another harness. First thing I did, pulled it open, right? Let me get you in here and let you see if I can show you all this. So I did go through it again and it's the same. Even these colors are different from the one I had, but they'll go to the same place. So, long story short, we're going to throw the original harness back in this car because it's not. I don't think it's bad, and I don't want to cut up a brand new harness. So I'm going to throw the original harness back in this car. We're going to put it in differently this time. The last time I had the ECU just kind of hanging out over here by the AC box. I didn't like that. So we're going to cut a hole in the firewall and run the ECU on the inside along with the fuse panel on the inside. That way it's out of the weather and also just looks better. All that'll be tucked away. I did change some of this harness. I had to put it back together. Nothing major. I just run a few wires differently. I like the way I routed them better than the way they routed them. That's what it comes down to. So we're going to do a couple other small things to it while we've got it all apart. So one of the things we're going to try to get done before we put the wiring harness back in it is I bought a dipstick tube for a 4L60 out of a truck. The dipstick tube that's in this, see it back there, is actually a flexible one. I bought off Amazon and it fits, but there's no place to screw it, the top part of it down to without just crimping it in half, and then the dipstick won't come out of the tube. So if we get a factory one back in, we'll be a lot better off. I'm just going to try to do that. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll go in. I was trying to put a 700R dipstick tube in it originally. Everybody said it'd fit, and it looked like it would, but I never could get it in there. So I'm going to try to get that in there, wrestle it in. If I get it in, or if I don't, I'll show you either way. But that'll be the next thing you see. So I'm going to get to work, and hopefully it's, hey, look, this fit just fine, and not, hey, I'm back with this other one. We'll see. Just like that, it's in. To be honest, there was a few hours in this. But it fits, and it works, and it's like it's supposed to be, and the other one's out. So I'm completely happy with this. And it may be a little tall. I may bend that down a little more, but I wanted to get the intake and stuff on first. I've been doing a little scoping out before we're going to drill the hole. There's a small divot back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can point it out. Right there. Anyways, I think I'm going to make that the center. I don't know if I'm going to run this stuff to the passenger side or the driver's side once I get it in, but we'll figure that out when we get there. I'm going to tape up the engine so we don't get anything in it and throw a paper towel or something back there to catch the shaving. So let's get that cut.
Alright, so I've got everything sealed up back here. It needs to be sealed up. I'm going to stuff a rag down there so we can catch these shavings, just so it don't make as big a mess. Alright, let's see if we can cut a hole in the firewall. Go. Let me pull that out. See if we can get it out of there. Oh, that's just the sound deadening. Oh yeah, there's a lot of room back there. I think we'll be just fine.
So this is the grommet we're going to use. I got to drill some holes. So I'm going to use some pop rivets for this so it wouldn't be sharp on the inside. I don't have a single pop rivet here. So I am going to go ahead and draw the holes for it. That way we know it fits in there and we can pop rivet it on. Here in a little while I'll run out and get some pop rivets. But it's made by Sillet. It's a really, really nice grommet. This comes from Summit, I believe. They don't have them on Amazon. I had to do a little digging to find a nice one. You can find cheap ones, but this was not a cheap product. But I wanted to be able to seal out as much exhaust gas and heat as we could. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can drill the holes for this right quick, and we'll start putting the wiring harness in. Hopefully I can fit everything through that hole. I can make it bigger a little bit, but not a lot.
Well, I forgot to hit record on most of this, but I just started at the bottom, started drilling holes, worked my way around. These screws that I'm putting in here came with something, but they're temporary. I just wanted to make sure that we could get all the lines, the holes to line up.
So we got to fit the fuse panel that comes with the FiTech through that hole. I went ahead and just unclipped it and unscrewed where the relays go through. Hopefully we can get that through there. We may have to take the fuses out though. I'm really not sure about that. We'll give it a shot and see how it does. The only other big thing that has to go through there is the actual PCM plug, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit just fine. There's not a whole lot of room for it to turn back in there, so we'll see how it goes. Also, I don't know if I'm running it to driver or passenger side yet. I'm going to run it to one side, kind of see if I like it. If I don't, I'll run it to the other side, see if I like that better.
It's about where I want it to live. So let me kind of lay some of this out, and probably have to get some rivets pretty soon and get that in. I have all the wiring on the driver's side right now, but it's just in the cab, so we're gonna move it anywhere. We'll go ahead and put the fuses back in before I lose them. Okay, so I know this looks like a rat's nest, and I'm aware of that, but I have everything underneath the car is hooked up now. I also have the ground hooked up over here. I still have the ground that goes back over on the other head, but I thought I'd kind of show y'all what's happening. All this will kind of tuck back in here. It's where it was before, plus extra, so we should be fine there. I'm going to go ahead and put the grommet on that. I wanted to pop it on right quick, and I'll show you how that looks. I went out and got us some rivets, so I'm going to clean that up, and I just wanted to show you how it looked before we get to the point to covering it back up. Won't be long. Hopefully I'll have this car on the ground. Look at that. I'm very, very happy with that seal. I'm going to get all this tucked back in here and plug in the oil pressure sensor. We're not going to deal with that today, but I'm going to go ahead and plug it in for later.
So the last time I showed you anything, it's been hours and hours and hours of work, and we're still not done. But let me get you caught up. I finally have the intake bolted back on. I've got the wiring loom is back in there. I ended up actually pulling it all back out and doing it again because I didn't like how it was ran. I've got the wires that need to come up to the front near the battery coming out right here. Mostly the fan stuff. I've still got to I do have to solder that back where it goes. This I have laying up here actually was for the AC. We need some of that, but I don't even know what we need. So I just have it in there. That heater hose passes right underneath the, I'll focus. There we go. Right underneath the fuel line right there. So it does clear it, and it's going to be fine. I'm not worried about that. It's not hooked up yet. We still have the bypass in, but we will have heat this winter. That's nice. So I still have stuff to do. I've still not finished the inside stuff, and I'm just going to keep plugging away at this. And I'm just ready to hear this thing run again. It's just been too long. But yeah, we're getting there. All right, so I've been trying to work on where we're going to put all the computer and the fuse panel in here. I really want to be on that side if I can. We'll see. No matter what, I think I'm going to pull this console so I've got more access. And yeah, we'll just get it out of here. And I'll figure out where I'm going to put it, and I'll show you what we're going to do. I made a template for the fuse panel. I thought I had a spot, but then I couldn't find a place to mount the template. So whatever, we'll go from there. All right, I got the console out. I was able to sneak that wire back up in there, and it comes across, and I've got the fuse panel mounted. There's not a lot of places to mount the computer, but I kind of like it right there. It's still a little tough to get to the fuse panel, but that's not something you normally have to get to. There's nothing to mount it to. So, got a license plate. I'm going to mess with that a little bit and see if we can get it in there somehow, some way, and make a mount out of it. I'll show you what I do, but to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, so we'll see. Also, that's the fresh air vent, so I don't want to totally cover that. Well, this is what I come up with. So I've got it just screwed just straight to the dash. And then right there, that's where the fresh air vent actually bolts. So it's high enough to, shouldn't cause any issues. Now I'm going to see if I can get this in there and mounted to that. We'll just see how it goes. Make sure those are all getting tight before we cover them up. You can still get to it, but it's just not as easy. And I'm doing all that so I can put this cover back on. This cover makes these cars look so much cleaner over here. And I know this is a lot of work just to retain that cover, but I don't care. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to it. All right, so I got the ECU mounted. There's plenty of room. Let's see if I can show you. To get in there to the fuse panel, no big deal. I went ahead and slid the cover on just to make sure everything clears. It does and looks nice. I've got to hook up the fuel pump and the accessory wire and power wire. And then we've got to run the handheld wires. I may change where I had it. I had it underneath the dash. I may put it in the glove and the console. And then there's a tack wire and a speedo wire I'm going to run to the other side for the Dakota Digital when we put it in. I should not be left alone. So while I was looking at all this after installing the computer, I noticed that the vacuum lines weren't hooked up to the AC box, or one of them. And then I got to looking and none of them were hooked up. When I put that together, I didn't do that. These are the problems you have when you take a car completely apart and put it back together. So let me show you what's up. Yeah, some idiot pulled the entire dash down and pulled the air box out just so we could get the rear diaphragm hooked up on that air box. I knew this one over here had been unhooked. I hooked it back up and I was like, oh, it's fine. And then I got to thinking, better check the rest of them. None of them are hooked up. So we've got that one hooked in. I'm going to put the air box back, hook up this one and the other two, and then I'll put the dash back in. What a setback. But it'll be fixed and I don't have to worry about it anymore.
All right, I've got everything kind of mounted back up there. I made a little plate to go over where the original wiring harness came through and sealed that up. And I'm going to put in the kick panel and the I'm going to clean this up, so I'm going to put this in here too, and all the trim. This thing's getting close to being done. Got the dash pad back in. I got to screw it down still. Try to get the console in. I'm just kind of buttoning some of this stuff up, and yeah, we'll be able to fire this thing up soon and see if we can get the new programming and all to work. My plan is, if it doesn't, I'm pulling the computer and the handheld, and I'm going to call FiTech and mail it to them. Tell them not to send it back to me till it'll read park. All right, so next I'm going to put in the new switches. I bought these a while back. This switch, I think somebody's actually been messing with, and up is down and down is up, and it's all messed up. These are all broken and nasty. So I bought all new GM parts for it. I bought them a while back, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and toss these in and bolt the HVAC back in, put the top on this thing, and kind of button it up. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the handheld back up here for now. Later on, I may locate it inside of here, because I don't know that I want to see it all the time. But for now, we're going to put it back up here. Nothing to pulling these things out, but it is hard to do with one hand. I was trying to get a good shot, but I've never even looked at these. Hopefully they're right. Man, that looks so good. Look at that. I'm super happy with that money. Wow. All right, I got all that put back together, and we're going to stop on that for now. I'm going to hook up the battery, and we'll see if we can get this FiTech programmed. I am going to reload the new software again, just to make sure I got it in right, and I guess we'll go from there. Well, I got in the car. I thought I turned the camera on. Evidently I didn't. Rambled to myself for about 2 minutes. I've tried to start this thing and it won't start. It just cranks. I'm not sure what I missed, but I'm going to pop the hood tomorrow and just look it over again. I'd really like to get y'all out of video, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to shift out of second gear. It still reads low 2 for what gear it's in. And I'm going to end up calling FiTech and telling them, sending this back to them, and have them look at it and see what's up. Because there has to be a problem. So, we'll see. I'm definitely just tired of working on it. So, we'll try turning it over one more time. I wanted to check, see what kind of fuel pressure. It's got like 50 pounds, so it should fire. Don't know. Alright, so I got to thinking about it. I put in the wrong count for the reluctor wheel. Whatever. So I went back in and I've reprogrammed it again. Now, let's see if this car will start. There we go. That's what we were hoping for. Still says low 2 though. It'll have to sit here and try to idle and stuff, do its learning. I forgot how rowdy this thing was. I'm going to try to get it to idle down just a little bit more and back it outside and just let it run for a minute. The idle's at like 1700 RPM, so, but I'm going to pull it in gear, see what happens. ain't mad about it. I don't know why the idle speed's so high in park. We'll turn it off and we'll learn the IAC again, the IAC steps. Well, I got her idle turned down. This thing's actually running better now than maybe it's ever ran as far as the engine goes. The shifter says it's in 7, not park. You know, I don't know what 7 means, but I thought we'd take her down the road, go ahead and get the disappointment over with, and then, yeah, get ready to send it off. I'll call him in the morning. I'm just here to tell you, if it works, I'll be shocked. Running a little warm. This is 203. I don't know why. Maybe the fan's not cutting on. I don't know. We'll keep working with it. That doesn't feel like it's got any gears. Well, that's not good. Wow. Like jerking in and out of gear. Was it low on fluid maybe? Surely not. I'm gonna turn around right here. We ain't going no further. Pulling down. Nothing but first. Now Dad want to pull it hardly at all. Bad as hell though. So I've borrowed another computer. I'm going to toss it in just to see if it makes any changes. This one was known to work, so maybe. Well, I slid that in, and you know, I was hoping for something else, but it still says low 2 for shifter. That thing should say park or anything else. I got to thinking, I wonder if if it's getting a bad reading from the wiring in the transmission. Maybe we should drop the pan, drain the fluid, drop the pan, and just check that thing for wire issues maybe before we ship it off. Yeah, we're going to do that on the next video. Thanks for watching. Well, this one didn't end like I wanted to. I'm very happy with all the work I put into this. I'm going to send the computer and the handheld back to FiTech. I'm sure they'll send me a return box or whatever and let them look at it and figure out what's up. It's not calling for any other gear, which means it's a
it's an electrical issue. It's not a car issue. But anyways, we'll send it back to them. They'll do something. But anyways, that's not a celebration, but we do have reason to celebrate, don't we, Madison?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we hit 1,000 subscribers.
She has been pumped about it, and so have I. I know I haven't released a video in a couple of weeks. I had some personal stuff going on, and this car has taken a lot of time to do what I've done. But tucking all that wiring harness away and stuff makes it look really nice. So next week we won't be working on the Camaro. It'll be something else, but stick with me. It's even got a blue oval on the front of it. We'll see. But we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.